if I, excuse me, I've got a little touch of gout, so just struggling a bit today, but I'll try my best for you. Hello everybody, I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son. Hopefully I've said that right. Today we've got a bit of field craft. We're out in the garden. I'm going to do some pheasants. Now I'm going to do them in two different ways. I'm going to do one of them stuffed with black pudding wrapped in bacon on the barbecue, because although it's horrendous weather, it's never too late to have a barbecue. And then I'm going to do another one inside in the kitchen with a cream and white wine and mushroom sauce. So over to the ingredients, please, cameraman. I've got a barbecue there. You want it just white, just turning white. I've got a cockbird and a henbird, male and a female. They're called a brace. They're nice. Now, I know Box to Belly is about meat boxes, but hopefully one day when we've got the website up and running, we'll be able to do these game birds on them as well, because they had such a beautiful meat, and if you cook them right and get it just right, they're absolutely delicious and as good as, better than chicken, in my humble opinion. Over to the other ingredients. We're walking about a bit today. Right, you need two knives for this. Depends how you're going to pluck them. I'm going to pluck them hopefully in two different ways, but you need one knife to cut the external skin of the pheasant and the feathers, to get past the feathers. And you need one for internal cutting of a meat, so a clean knife, a dirty knife and a clean knife. You'll see, well, you might not see it, but slaughtermen all over the country use two knives. One knife to make the incision on the outer fur, and a clean knife to make the incision on the inner meat. Over here, we've got some really nice, good quality, fatty black pudding. A lot of you might not like black pudding like that, but that's exactly how I like black pudding. We won't need all of it. I'm going to have just a little bit now. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we've got some back bacon here. Streaky bacon is better, but Box to Belly, we can't always have everything. Use what you've got in your fridge. We've got back bacon, and what I will do with that back bacon is just spread it out with a clean knife and spread it out like that. That not only makes it go further, because I'm a tight Yorkshireman, but it also helps it stick to the meat, because we're going to wrap it around the pheasant. We'll come back to that later. I'll have another bit of that to keep my strength up. Down to the birds. Right, two different ways of doing this. For this dish, I just need the breast meat. Now, if you come in and have a look at the legs, cameraman, there's not a lot of meat on these legs. You can spend hours and hours plucking them, all different styles, but I just like to get the breast meat off. And then when I've got a spare moment, I might get this out for the dogs later. But we're just going to take the breast meat off. Right, the way to do this, just to take the breasts off. We've not got hours to spend, you know, taking, depulking it, getting feathers everywhere. This is just field craft. So, if I, excuse me, I've got a little touch of gout, so just struggling a bit today, but I'll try my best for you. Stand on the wings, near the body. Feet, toes down to the floor. You've got the legs firmly gripped, and just pull. Now, you get a little bit of, so that's the waist, because you don't get a lot of leg meat. Now, if you just look back here, you have got the exposed breast, and no insides, no guts or anything inside the breast. So we just spread it back a bit. Take your clean knife, because you're cutting meat there from the cockbird that we've just done, and as near to the breast as possible on the breastbone. Just work down there, take it off, guide your way down with the knife. We'll come back when they're all done. Right, well, I'm really impressed, and I'll admit to you, a little bit surprised that they've worked so well pulling the feet up like that and exposing the clean meat. So I've not actually had to use my outer knife. But if I were to use that and just get the breasts off, I'd pull up just the chest area and then grab that little bit of the pheasant, make an incision, put my hands around it and take the skin off. Now, I wanted skinless breasts because I'm wrapping them in bacon. If you want the skin on breasts, or if you want the skin on bird, you would have to spend hours taking the feathers off, you know, and we've got a few more in the garage, which I will do like that, because at the weekend I'm going to do like a roast pheasant joint. We might film that as well. But, you know, I didn't want that. I just wanted the breasts without the skin. So we've done that because, you know, we're very busy here at Box to Belly and time is of the essence. Right, over to this. A little bit of shot in them. Now, don't worry, you can't really help it when you're shooting them. I've not shot them, so don't please anybody get offended. I'm just showing you how to use them. Right, but I do shoot them, so anyway, but not these. Right, as I mentioned with this, spread it out so that it sticks to the breast nicely. And for this, I'm going to do another dish with the hen birds because they're a little bit smaller with the female breasts, but with the male breast, with the cockbird breasts, I'm going to use for this barbecue thing. Right, take your thing, and you want just about half like that, and you take the breast, flip it over like that, get rid of any sort of sinew, these have been well dressed, and just laying it flat like that. Don't cut through it, but just cut an incision like so, and make a bit of a pocket, like me, a pocket rocket. With the black pudding, this works beautifully with haggis as well, but we're using black pudding. With that, just stuff it in that pocket and wrap the underfillet round like that to seal it off. And then so the black pudding doesn't leak out, keep it up like that and put the bacon over it like so. Now, if you had streaky bacon, it'd probably look better. Try and cover the fat up with the streaky bacon, and you might need 2. You probably won't need 3. We've got back bacon, and we're just going to wrap them up like that. Repeat the process. Take a feather off there. Don't worry about some feathers, they do burn off and they add to the flavour. And whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Said nobody ever. Now the coals have gone white. I'm going to sit them on there until they are ready. We don't time anything here at Box to Belly. You've got to use your common sense. Right, welcome back everybody. We're here, we're doing the other version. We've got those on the barbecue outside. We're doing the other version of pheasant. And what I'm going to do, as you can see, it's a little bit self-explanatory, is I'm going to do pheasant breasts in what I call a creamy white wine and mushroom sauce. That's the white wine. I'll take a bit of a slurp. We've got some good strong white wine there. Over to the ingredients. The pheasant breasts. This dish is near enough impossible without those, so you need the pheasant breasts. We've got some double cream there. We've got some pepper there. That's got an S on it. It should be a P, but I know what it is. We've got some famous blackthorn salt made from Scottish seawater, one of the saltiest salts in the world. I've got a shallot there, some garlic. Perhaps that's a little bit too much, but it is near Halloween and we want to keep Count Dracula at bay. And I've got some mushrooms there. They look quite a lot, but they do reduce down. Over to the pan. So preheat a pan, bit of oil to lubricate things up, and we just go in with the pheasant breasts. Now, they sizzle, that's the noise you want to hear. Now, I've turned them upside down. Once they have sealed slightly, I will put a little bit of salt and pepper on them in the pan. We don't put it in the overall sauce, we just season the meat and later the mushrooms. So, and the salt and pepper, the seasoning for the dish will come from this. So put as much as you want, and we quite like this salt. Bit of pepper. Now you want to cook these breasts fully because I'm going to make the sauce separately in the juicers. So I'm not keeping the breasts in here while the sauce is in because they'll stew, and we don't want that. We want them to be cooked now. So just leave them 3 minutes each side, something like that. Once they're sealed, I've sealed that side. Don't put your salt on. I don't think you shouldn't put your salt on until you've sealed it with a bit of heat, because if you put your salt on the raw meat, it draws the flavor. Not the flavor. It draws the moisture out of it. So put it on once it's been sealed. Keith Floyd taught me that. Not personally, on one of his videos. We'll come back in about 6 minutes. You don't have to watch me doing this. We all know what that looks like. We'll come back when we're ready to make the sauce. Right, they've hubbled and bubbled away. So we remove them from the pan because, as I say, I don't want to put the cream in there because they will stew. So they should be fully cooked. Well, just a little bit pink in the middle, hopefully. They might cook and finish off now. We're going to mess about with the rest of it. So we've got all the pheasant juice in there, and now we're going to make the sauce. So that's still on the heat, and we firstly put in the shallots. You can use little pickling onions, not pickled onions, pickling onions. I prefer shallots, they're a little bit sweeter. We toss those about a bit, don't let them burn. Just caramelise nicely in the juice. And this is when you put the wine in. I'll turn it down just a little bit. As much or as little as you want, I'd recommend the more the merrier. Let the alcohol burn off. That's the alcohol burning off now. Let those soften up. We'll come back when the mushrooms are ready to be put in. They've had about 50 seconds while the alcohol burns off. In go the mushrooms, turn the heat up. And this is when you add salt and pepper to the mushrooms, seasoning the whole dish. Toss them around in the pan. We'll come back when the cream is ready to go in. I'm getting a little bit hot and flustered here. Just regulate my temperature. Right, don't let anything burn. So you've got in here the shallots, the garlic, salt and pepper, the mushrooms, and before anything starts to burn, we turn it down so the cream doesn't curdle, and we add just a little bit of cream in this dish. Now they say putting cream in a dish can hide a multitude of sins. I'm inclined to disagree with them if you can do it properly. Now the trick to this is turn it really down low when you pour it in. Then I like to turn it up a bit high. The pan's already hot. Let the cream start to bubble and bubble away. And then when it does that, turn it really down low and let it then for about 10 minutes, swishing it, swashing it about, nicely thicken. And when it's the right consistency, we'll transfer it over to the pheasant breast. Right, that's only taken about 5 minutes, not quite as long as I thought, but your cream has reduced off. They've been under foil and in the oven. We're not putting them back in the pan, but all we do with this, sauce is just serve it on like that. You can mess about with parsley if you want and garnish it. I feel like I ought to. We've not got any fresh parsley, so I've used it for another dish. But yeah, we'll slop it all on. But I think I'm going to go to the effort. You'll have to forgive me, it's dried parsley. But I think that is my take on pheasant breast in a white wine, cream and mushroom sauce. Right, while we've been messing about in there with mushrooms and cream and all that, these have been cooking away. They've had about 12 minutes, something like that. I've put whatever herb we can find in the garden on top of them, which in this case is rosemary. Now, I've been turning those so they're brown on all sides, but they are my take on pheasants stuffed with black pudding. Again, haggis, you can use haggis as well. Sometimes it's better, but I've got a good quality black pudding. And I've wrapped them in bacon. Use streaky bacon. I think that loin bacon, that back bacon has worked quite nice. Let's go and try some. Let's get rid of that. Right, let's go in for the cut. I'm going to cut it cross-sectionally so you can see the thing. Let's hope it's just cooked just right. Now that's it. A little bit pink, just how I like it. That black pudding's doing its work. Let's cut the breast up. Make sure we've got a bit of the black pudding, a bit of the bacon. That is fantastic. That is really, really... I don't know whether I prefer this version or the version with the cream and all that. I think that with the bit of char on it like that, I think I quite like that. We're going to wrap it up on this windy day, but I just thought I'd talk just a little bit about to you why I'm cooking pheasant. And I believe because it's a really underrated bird. I think it's far better than chicken, but I think we shoot, quite a lot in this country and they shoot them all over the world. And I think it's such a shame to let them go to waste when you can make really good. I mean, these are like it's like eating like a medieval king. It's absolutely fantastic. They're my takes on there. There's plenty of websites with recipes on like that. Go and have a look at that. Mrs. Beaton's book, she does quite a lot of pheasant recipes, as you can imagine. But I'm going to sit here, finish my pheasant breast off, drink a glass of wine, enjoy the last of the sun, and hopefully we don't get blown away. Until next time, cheers everybody.
I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son, and I'm sitting plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes.